Hey guys, how's it going?
Welcome to the shit show.
The total shit show, where everything is going to shit and nothing we say matters. So this is Aaron. I'm Tristan. Wanted to take a second to tell you guys about ourselves, seeing as how you were kind enough to jump on and pay attention to our lousy attempt at entertainment. So I'm gonna let Aaron lead the show here real quick.
All right. Well, I'm Aaron. I work in security, which is an awesome job, by the way. I like collecting things. I love things. I love building things. I love movies. I love all kinds of stuff. So that's pretty much me.
When we get a second, we'll show you around the room. He's got cameras of all ages set up around here. Skulls, Walking Dead, Legos, all sorts of crazy over here. I, on the other hand, am not so eccentric. I'm Tristan, in case you didn't catch that first time. I like photography as well, parkour, psychology, philosophy, anything that starts with a P, except for, well, you know. It's pretty much a fan favorite of mine. I wanted to tell you guys, just to give you a little bit more depth on who I am, I wanted to tell you about this experience that I had. So I personally, I work at a hotel right now. I won't be for very much longer, but I do currently. And all sorts of crazy stuff happens at hotels. I don't know if you know this, but it's nuts at hotels. In the last 2 months, I've had two different people go through like a domestic violence dispute inside their room. I had this one lady, old enough to be my mother, and I'm going to go further in depth on the story, just to give you a brief description, try to lure me into bed. I had this one guy who turned out to be a license plate thief, who was absolutely crazy, and I'm not one to judge, trust me, I'm not one to judge. But when someone comes up to you and tells you there's a revolution coming, that the machines elected them God, that the Chinese are coming for us because they know that we're starving them. You know, at that point, it's safe to determine that that person is so far out of left field that they went past the fence into the next neighborhood.
Sounds like somebody we should hang out with.
Maybe. He's currently wanted by the police thanks to my efforts, so that might not be wise. Oh man! But as far as funny personal experiences go, this lady at the hotel, I've got to tell you guys about this. She came in. Her husband was beating on her, I guess, because the police followed her right through the door trying to get a statement. And 20 minutes after they left, she calls down and is like, "Can you please send up a bottle of champagne?" Well, we don't have champagne at the hotel. That's not something that we do where I work. So I let her know this, and she's like, "Well, can you like call a taxi company or something along those lines and see if they'll deliver?" I don't know about you guys, but I've never heard of a taxi company delivering food or drinks or anything else. But I gave it a shot, and I called the taxi company, and come to find out they're willing to do it. So, future reference, if you ever had a hotel and don't feel like leaving to get your booze, call a taxi. I ended up, however, having a friend that does Lyft in that area. So I sent him out. He got a nice $20 tip delivering the bottle of the room, and that worked out. Well, he's hanging out in the lobby with me, we're talking, and she comes down to smoke a cigarette, comes back in, and she ends up hanging out in the lobby with he and I for about 2 hours. She's being all like touchy-feely with my friend, kind of flirting with a little bit. Me on the other hand, she's like calling me an asshole and stuff like that. But it was all fun and games, right? Well, she finishes her entire bottle of champagne and then goes back to her room. She kind of does the bye over her shoulder type thing, you know? And I noticed she left her room key on the table in the lobby. I look at my friend, and he looks at me, and we're like, she did that intentionally. Yeah, probably. So he's like, are you going to take it up to her? No, I'm going to wait for her to call. Lo and behold, she calls. She's like, can you bring me my room key, please? Yeah, sure, whatever. I go up to the fourth floor. It's a long hike upstairs, for the record. Get to her room, and I hand her the key. And she's got one arm full of stuff, and she's kind of like feigning drunk, fumbling around the key, and she drops it. She's like, can you get that for me? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Grab the key up off the floor, open the door, she pushes it open, takes a step inside, and like, come on in. And I'm like, what do you need? She's like, it'll only take a minute. Okay, what do you need that's only going to take a minute? She wouldn't tell me though. So I took like 4 steps. I counted them. It was 4 steps inside this room, just enough for the door to swing shut behind me. Which was foolish.
Yeah, never close the door behind you.
No. I learned my lesson the hard way on that. Because as soon as that door shut, she jumped. She took her jacket, threw it off onto the bed, comes up to me and starts unbuttoning my work shirt. And I'm like, whoa, no, stop, I'm not doing this, stop. And she wouldn't stop. She even looked up at me and she's like, halfway unbuttoning my shirt, like, I'm not gonna stop. And I'm like, okay, no. You know, being in the business, I didn't want to like have some sort of liability issue. Here I am in her room, putting my hands on her to push her away. I didn't want that to be my resort, but that's what I ended up having to do, you know. So I get her back. Right? Unwanted advances. And a lot of people don't look at that the same when it's a girl approaching a guy. But like, if I were a 22-year-old female attendee and she was a 42-year-old man instead, this would be a whole different picture. So I ended up, like I said, I pushed her away, and she's like kind of all teary-eyed, and I started thinking about the fact that Anyway, I started thinking about the fact that she was beat on by her husband just earlier that night. She's like, can I at least have a hug? So I gave her a hug, another foolish mistake, because she comes up to me, she wraps her arms around my neck, and she starts kissing on me, right on my fucking neck, dude. And I'm like, just stop! And I like peel her arms off me and I push her back, and I'm like, I'm sorry! And that kind of caught her off guard. She was like, why are you sorry? And I'm like, because I know what kind of mindset you're in, and I know what rejection can do to somebody in that mindset. Again, I like psychology. But this is not happening. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to be this unprofessional. It's just not going to happen. So she looks at me, she gets all pissed. She looks at me, she's like, okay, fine, I'm done. Why don't you send your friend up? And I was just like, oh my God, lady. I ran across the street, got a pack of cigarettes, smoked them down. I ended up actually having to call the police on her that night.
I was going to ask you, send a friend up.
I did not send a friend up. He was not into it. He was looking at me like, you were gone a while, bud. And I'm like, yeah. I told him, I'm like, let's go to the gas station, let's get some smokes. Came back, I started smoking a cigarette, I'm telling him all about it, and he's like, you know, had you stayed, for one, I wouldn't have waited for you, but for two, I would have judged the hell out of you. Like, you just slept with someone that's old enough to be your mom. And I'm like, really glad that I didn't do that. This is like my best friend, you know, so when he says stuff like that, it's like, ooh. But yeah, it was crazy. I ended up calling the police. They had to escort her out of the hotel. I think they sent her to some other hotel. I don't know whatever really came of that lady. But she did try to claim that I raped her, or tried to rape her, I should say. Yeah. Thank God the police did not believe a word of it. But
she probably did that after she tried to touch the cop's junk. That's probably what happened. She's like, I already did that.
That would be my guess.
She said it's always a man's fault.
It's always a man's fault. Oh, yeah, thanks, Connie. Alright, so I apologize because this is our first show. We haven't had the chance to work everything out, work out all the kinks. So I'm gonna like test something really quick to see if I can fix that echo for you. First of all, I have to hear it though. Is your computer? Yes. Thanks. Alright, so it's echoing really bad. Okay, so I have a feeling it's because it's picking up audio from the webcam and from this. So this should fix that problem.
Alright, we'll get our shit together.
That should have fixed the problem. Hopefully that fixes the problem. We're about to find out. While the
got an extremely long leg right here.
Oh yeah. But between what's actually happening and what you're seeing, there's a huge difference. It's still left. Damn. Ah! Alright, well, I'll tell you what.
Well, maybe it sounds different because we were listening to it on here.
That's possible.
Yeah, are we still echoing?
Clearly. Unmute it really quick.
Sounds kind of cool.
It does sound kind of cool. Like, we're robots now.
Okay, it's better.
Okay.
Much better?
what I ended up actually doing is disabling this mic for now, so that's something we'll have to figure out later. So it's just okay, which is still a good quality, but so
as long as we can be heard, that's all.
Right, because what we have to say is important.
No,
I think
not so much.
Okay, well. In that case, I'm going to hand it over to Aaron. I heard that he has a pretty funny experience he wanted to share, too.
Yeah. And a couple people's heard this one, so awesome. All right, so one of our cars broke down, so we're down to one car, me and my girlfriend. Well, she had to come get me. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Are we going to have to start the story over?
Oh, no.
I don't want to. Actually, I do, because it's a great story.
All right. So can you hear us now? Are we echoing again?
It's probably going to be echoey again. I can only imagine. I got to figure out what's going on.
We're trapping people.
We're sucking so hard. Audio input. Wait a minute. Oh, no, that was awful. There we go. Stream mode. Haha. There. That should fix it. That should have solved the problem.
Well, that's how we roll. We like to echo. We like to hear ourselves over and over again.
Yeah, we're awesome like that. Don't you know my favorite activity is hearing myself talk? Duh.
Alright, so is it better? Are we okay now?
I think we should be good. Just to give ourselves a listen.
Yeah, What, not just loud?
Why?
You can hear our old shit. Still echoing.
See, it shouldn't be echoing through here. Although you... See, it shouldn't be echoing through here at all.
It's not.
Yeah, so it's not this. It's gotta be a conflict between the two different microphones. That's the only thing it could be. So I gotta figure out.
This is a great first show.
Hey, you know what? The first show is all about working out the kinks.
Yeah,
so that's okay.
Yeah. Now we're too quiet. Are we louder? Are we louder now? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
So we can just sit here and look at people.
Oh shoot!
We could watch people watch us.
That's not creepy at all.
Millions.
So the audio input should be on that. Yes. So maybe if I disable that.
Maybe it is.
Maybe it
It could be you.
Yeah. What if it's your fault? What if your phone is just too new for our old crap to handle?
Right. Wait. Maybe it is.
The echoing's gone. I fixed the echoing. I knew what it was. I figured it out. We're good.
All right. Wait, let's make sure. Are we good now?
If we're not good on your end, I'm blaming you. It's all your fault.
Yay!
Yeah! High five. Team Shit Show. Okay, so now I know for future.
Shit. Leave it alone.
Don't touch it. It's fine. Don't fix what's not broken. Okay, so Aaron, you might have to start your story over. I think we fucked it up.
All right, so we'll do it again. We'll say it again. So basically, down to one car. Girlfriend had to come pick me up from work. We decided that the best thing for her to do was to come pick me up in some skanky clothes. Why not? Right? 3 o'clock in the morning. Nothing's gonna happen. Nobody's gonna be out. We'll be good.
Right.
So she picks me up. She's wearing knee-high boots, fishnet stockings, a very, very short skirt that doesn't even cover her butt, and a white t-shirt or a white dress shirt, mostly unbuttoned, of course, and a leather coat that also doesn't cover her butt, and then and no underwear. She wasn't wearing any panties at all. So, awesome, right?
This was like the most erotic ride home until it wasn't.
Yes, exactly. So basically, I work off of Michigan Ave, so we're going down Michigan Ave after she picks me up, and lo and behold, the Michigan State, what would that be? A flower would be the pothole.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So, I hit a pothole, blow a tire. So basically, I have to pull off to the side of the road. Well, I didn't mention last time that she works for Pure Romance, so she has totes and totes and totes and bags of stuff.
Sex toys, lubricants,
yeah,
all of it.
You name it, she's probably got it. So I have to get my spare out of the trunk, I have to pull out totes of dildos and vibrators, bags of lubrications and lotions, all these different bath products, and they're sitting on the side of the road. So I get the shitty little jack out after I pull all this stuff out. I get the shitty little jack out, the one that comes with it, with the vehicle, and it's a Volkswagen. So
it's not your usual V crank. No,
it's this weird little weird ass thing that goes like this. I don't know what that is. So, but anyways, I get the jack under the car, crank that bitch up. I obviously loosen the wheels beforehand.
Anyone who knows how to change a tire knows the process.
Yes. Well, I did the right process. Release the dildos. So, so I got I got the car jacked up, and I start to pull the tire off. Well, all of a sudden, the fucking jack slips out from under the car, and the car comes crashing down, and the tire gets stuck between the rim. I mean the
rotor.
The rotor. Thank you. The rotor and the ground. So it's just wedged in there. So, yeah, so, I get the jack back under there, and I start cranking this fucking thing up, and then my dumbass, I grab the top of the wheel to pull it out. Well, the jack slips again, and lands on my finger. I thought I smashed it, like, in a million pieces. Hurt like hell. And, so I just said, fuck it. Like, I don't want to jack up the rotor anymore or anything like that. So we decided we're going to use trusty old AAA. Well, AAA is not trusty if you guys have ever dealt with AAA before.
I personally haven't, but I've heard your horror stories. So.
Horrible, man. So we call AAA, and then they tell us, they're going to get a hold of a tow truck. And they used one specific tow truck for where we were at. I'm not going to name names because I don't think we should have it.
No, that's fine.
So, but they use a tow truck that works out in that area. So, she said, but it'll be probably about an hour before they get out there. So, it's 25 degrees out. My car is partially still on the jack. So, I don't want to get back in my car. I don't want to throw it all off and everything, whatever. So, I stand outside of the car. My girlfriend's inside the car.
Freezing her little butt off.
Freezing her butt off. And then about, I don't know, half hour after we were stuck on the side of the road, she's like,
distracted by the chat.
Yeah, I got distracted by that. About a half hour after we were there, she realizes that she has a sheet in the back of the car because she was doing some kind of fundraising thing or some kind of movie premiere thing.
Interesting.
And she was giving away a TV, and we covered the TV up with the sheet.
Oh yeah, all that. Okay.
So, yeah, so we did. She still had the sheet in the back of the car. So, she's trying to drape this around her. Well, while she's trying to drape this thing around her and cover herself up and everything, a cop pulls up behind us.
Oh God.
So, my ass, I'm trying not to get the cop to come to the side window and see that she's dressed like a hooker.
You're right.
She's dressed like a hooker on the side of Michigan Ave,
and there's vibrators and dildos on the side of the road.
Exactly. You got all the vibrators and shit there. So, I walk back to the cop car. I had my hood on and shit, so I popped that off because I don't want to get shot. So I walk back to the cop car or whatever, and this lady, she gets out and she's like, "You guys okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "We just blew a tire." And she's like, "Okay." She's like, "Did you get a hold of anybody or whatever?" I was like, "Yeah, we got a hold of AAA, and they said they were sending a tow truck." Okay, well, you guys have a good day. All right, thanks. So she takes off. Hour and a half later, we get a call from AAA, and they tell us that they never got a hold of anybody. Nobody. They're going to start looking now.
What the
After
fuck?
An hour and a half later.
In 25-degree weather, I'm dead, dude!
Yeah, they were like, well, we'll put a rush on it since, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, now it's 4:30 in the morning, so we're, and it's still, and it's just, it feels like it's getting colder by the minute. So I'm chain smoking like crazy, just trying to, stop from shaking.
Gotta stay warm.
Exactly.
Hover over the little itty bitty hot end of the cigarette. Yeah.
So basically, okay, so hour and a half later they call and they're just like, "Hey, we're gonna start looking." He was like, "Hey, this is Red from AAA. Fucking Red. You know what? You son of a bitch." Fucking Red. He tells us that they're just now looking for AAA or looking for a tow truck. It's like, oh, great, okay. So. I decided, you know what, fuck it. I'm not gonna wait around another hour and a half for AAA to find somebody. So I call the company directly who they were supposed to call, and they tell me we are a half mile from a Walmart, right? And they tell me that their jurisdiction is at the Walmart. They won't drive the extra half mile. Just help us out at 4:30 in the fucking morning.
In 25-degree weather.
In 25-degree weather. they're not going to drive that extra half a mile.
That's too far.
There's probably a law or something. I don't know, but still, I mean, shouldn't you just help somebody in need?
Right, like from a customer standpoint, or even just a stranded person standpoint. That's some bullshit.
I know smoking won't help me stay warm, but it makes me feel better when I'm pissed. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So I called the tow truck company, and they said they're not going to come. So they gave me the number for another tow truck company. So basically, this company was like, well, we'll be out in 15 minutes. Awesome.
That's not bad.
Cool. So right after I get off the phone with that tow truck company, the cops come again. And I can hear, I throw my hood off, I walk over to the car, because again, I don't want them coming over to see my girlfriend just like a hooker on Michigan Ave with dildos on the ground.
Right.
So I walk back to their car, and I can hear the previous cop that came, I can hear her over the cop's radio. Oh yeah, I already checked on them, they're okay. It's like, okay, there was an hour between that. Like,
right, like,
how am I, like, I could not be okay. And how do you know the girl in my car is actually my girlfriend and I'm not some fucking weirdo standing outside of a car?
Like,
they never came to check. You know what I mean? So
I just happen to be a serial killer. I got this bitch all tied up in my trunk,
right.
you know?
She's over here trying to fix stuff and she's all moving around in the car. You can see her head wobbling and stuff like all over. And they're just like, oh, okay, yeah, well, tow truck. You know? All right. So.
Oh, man. That is a poor lack of due diligence.
Yeah. And then, so they end up leaving. And then, while they were still there, our tow truck pulled up. Oh.
Praise
awesome.
the Lord.
So, I do have to tell you, we had the car running this entire time so that she could stay, she could keep a little warmer and stuff like that. So, we had the car, but her window was cracked and all that stuff. So, we had, the tow truck comes, and he comes out, and he jacks up the car, and he changes the tire, and everything's going smoothly until he tries to lower the car down. Then, when he tries to lower the car down, the car fucking dies. It just stalled, and he's like, did your car just stall? I'm like, yeah, it did. He's like, huh, never seen that before. I'm like, oh, awesome.
That's great.
Right. So he's like, go ahead and try and start it again. So my girlfriend reaches over, tries to start the car. The car won't start. So he's like, go ahead and pop the hood. So he pops the hood. And he's down there, and I don't know what he was doing. He was wiggling some shit or whatever.
I ain't a mechanic.
He's like, go ahead, try it again. I'm like, all right. So I try it again. Nothing. So he's like, so you guys need a tow truck? Or you guys need a tow to wherever? I'm like, oh, shit, yeah.
Guess
so.
I
guess we do. So my girlfriend, she decides she's like, you know what? Just tow it to my parents' house. And, I'll get my dad to look at it or whatever. So the tow truck's like, okay. And then I look over at my girlfriend, I was like, you do know that we have to get out of this car and sit in this guy's truck all the way to Ann Arbor. So, and this look of oh shit on her face was so damn priceless. Like, she was just like, oh, like she never thought of that. like she didn't think of that at all.
Let alone like going to your parents' house
right.
and having to see your parents in this attire.
The Criminal Minds episode. So yeah, so then she's like, oh damn, like, she's like, I can't go to my parents like this. She's like, I gotta call my sister. So she's trying frantically to call her sister, like, hey, can you bring me out some clothes or whatever? Mm-hmm. Well, her sister never picked up the phone, so we couldn't do that. We couldn't go to her mom's house like that. So she was like, you know what? We're just gonna we could just be towed out to our house, which is way farther than Ann Arbor, but it's whatever. Save the embarrassment. I'd rather just pay the extra money.
Right.
So we, he hooks us up and everything, and I'm sitting in the middle of the truck, or in the middle seat. My girlfriend's sitting over on the right, and, tow truck driver. So
you guys remembered to put the dildos and the vibrators back in the trunk,
yeah,
right?
Yes, we did. We got all the dildos and vibrators back in the trunk, so we're good with that.
That's good. That's good money.
Yeah. So, my girlfriend, she's sales pitching, like, to his girlfriend, or about his girlfriend, whatever, the tow truck driver's girlfriend. So
right.
She's sales pitching, and I'm just chiming in with random bullshit tidbits here and there, like, because I'm not usually a really big talker, so.
Except today, apparently.
Today, yeah. Can't shut up today, so. So yeah, I mean, and then the whole ride home. So we're just talking, and then we get to our place. The guy backs it up, drops the car. Well, we realize that our window's still open, so I get in the car and I turn the battery on, and I'm like, you know what? If this motherfucker starts, I'm gonna be so goddamn pissed. I fucking crank the key, the thing starts right the fuck up.
Son of a bitch.
Like, we did not need this tow. It did not need to be all weird. this whole fucking situation was weird as hell.
Well, yeah, your girlfriend's sitting there, no panties, short skirt, next to a stranger driving a tow truck.
Yes, and the guy was nice as hell. Don't get me wrong, but you know the tow truck driver from Harold and Kumar.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean minus all the boils and stuff. This was that guy. Okay. I mean, he stepped out of the car. He was limping, and he's like. Got sort of a southern accent, so it was this guy, like just a younger version of this guy. This is that guy 20 years earlier. Like it was something.
The up and coming tow truck driver.
Right. It was a trip. So that is my lovely story.
That's way worse than mine.
And my girlfriend is the fucking best. I gotta say that just for doing that.
Right, like, oh my god, that's great. That's fucking great. You know what else is great?
What's that?
The concept that we might be able to eat human meat and not be judged for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd be able to do that.
I don't think I'd have a problem with it, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I mean, when you eat beef, do you always think of the cow that it came from?
Sometimes.
Every now
and
then.
I wonder what was this cow's name before it became food in my belly?
What was its favorite food? Was it grass? Maybe it was dandelions. I don't know.
Maybe it liked wheat. I don't know.
Maybe I'll bite into it and find out. It tastes a little weedy. But the reason that I mentioned the cannibalism thing, I'm going to show you guys real quick. Aaron and I, speaking of due diligence from earlier, we did ours, and we found this awesome article right here regarding, as you can see, would you eat human meat grown in a lab? So, I don't know about you guys, but like I'm gonna talk you through the process here, a little bit about this article. More or less, Richard Dawkins here, I guess he's a scientist, he's trying to, I guess, work on world hunger and kind of eliminate the taboo around cannibalism, because a lot of the ethical and moral complications come from the fact that in order to obtain human meat, you have to either hurt a human being or desecrate a corpse. And of course, for many generations, either of those two things is considered taboo. It's considered bad, against the law, evil, whatever. So, what he wants to do is he wants to grow human meat, and they've done this with several different animals to pretty good success. It's done by taking stem cells from a living creature and literally just growing them into pure meat tissue. If you kind of read through this article here, obviously Dawkins is a little skeptical about getting people to actually eat the meat. One, not only because it's human meat, of course everyone's going to be like, ugh, even you were like, ugh. So, but on top of that, it's lab grown, and whenever you hear that word, lab grown, it's immediately deterrent when it comes to something that should be natural, like food.
Yeah, but I mean, and then you're going to get all these people like, it's no longer real stuff. It's all synthetic, blah, 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 blah. It's just more unhealthy for you because it's grown in a lab. But what's to say that it's not going to be healthier since it is growing out of the lab? Because they can,
fully
they
control.
can take all the bad shit out and put good shit in if they wanted to.
I totally see your point.
And even still, somebody can't, unless you actually had, real human meat, you're not going to know the difference. You're not going to be like, well, this doesn't taste like human,
Right. I don't know what human tastes like, so I can't make a comparison.
Right. I mean, they can taste like anything. You're like, oh, it's human. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, it tastes like fucking chicken. Who knows? Right. So, but I do see your point, though. If you compare it to livestock fields, we put all these synthetic chemicals and stuff into the food for cows and pigs and everything else to get them to grow faster because it increases the yield. So, and in turn, that and their living conditions on top of that, it creates stress, which creates negative hormones and chemical balances in the meat, and kind of tarnishes the flavor of the meat. Whereas if we were growing meat synthetically, there would be no conscious change on the endorphins in the meat at all. You know, like stress is not a factor, lifestyle is not a factor at all.
Right.
It's literally just a process of putting these nutrients into the meat and watching it grow into a slab. Like, you can just literally grow yourself a steak. How cool is that?
Right. We're on the verge of those dehydrated pizzas that are like really tiny and then they get really big when you put them in the little oven. Yeah.
Exactly. I wanted to grow my own food, but I couldn't find any bacon seeds. That's really what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, I'm curious to know what everyone else kind of feels on this subject, because I'm really intrigued. I'm one of those people that, unpopular opinion, I don't think there is such a thing as right and wrong on any universal status. I think it's all dependent on your own beliefs and experiences. And I mean, to one person, stealing is completely unacceptable. To another person, stealing is a moral obligation. Steal from the rich, feed to the poor, kind of deal.
Yeah.
There's everything that we do, even murder in many cases, can be judged as right or wrong by different people for different reasons.
Right.
There's no universal truth to it. So with that said, I don't have a problem eating human meat as long as it doesn't go against my beliefs of having to hurt other people or desecrate a corpse.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I just couldn't get the thought of you're eating human meat. Whether it came from an actual human or grown in a lab, it's human meat. You know what I mean?
That begs the question. The fact that it's the same species, that'd be like cutting off your own arm and grilling it and being like, ribs.
Right. It's like I saw a video once. It was like a guy fed a chicken. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then, it's like the same thing. It's just like,
it's kind of disturbing.
It is. Like, you're eating your own kind. You know what I mean?
Okay, so let me ask you this. If you were trapped on an island with a random stranger and there was no food on this island, would you be willing to kill and eat the other person to survive?
Is this other person an asshole?
Sure, yes.
Yes, I would. But I like seclusion, so...
I'm fine with solidarity.
That person... Bad way.
Sorry about your luck, bud. I didn't like you, and that doesn't help. I personally, I'm a little more tedious on that subject, because like, if I were stuck on an island with somebody, I would cut their limbs off slowly and cook those. Keeps the meat fresh, keeps you company if you really need it, because they lose a leg, they're still gonna live. All you have to do is cauterize the wound, they'll be fine.
She said, cut a piece off and don't tell them it's human. They'll never know the difference.
Exactly.
They may not. I mean, going by that, my grandpa fed me a mountain oyster. You know what the fuck a mountain oyster is?
No.
It's a sheep bull. I mean, a bull ball.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
He told me it was a meatball. He lied.
Well, I mean...
I was very distraught when he told me.
It was a meatball. It was a ball of meat.
Yeah, I guess it was.
He didn't necessarily lie.
She said, take the page down. Can't see our faces.
Okay, fine. Sorry. Oh, shoot. But yeah, like, I see it from both sides. Like, I understand the taboo against it, but it'd be a really interesting way to solve world hunger. Like, all these people in Africa that are skin and bone be like, well, I don't have any skin or bone, but here's some meat.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it would definitely help, I think, but I wouldn't... why grow human meat? Like, why not just grow...
like pig meat or
pig meat, like shit that you could eat.
That's
like, that you would normally eat.
Valid point. It does seem kind of redundant. Like... All right, Aaron, you solved world hunger, man. Good job. Woo! A round of applause. There's something else that I wanted to talk about too, because I was going through trying to find some interesting articles to talk about. Aaron knows this, and I found the one on bee sting acupuncture, and I want to show that really quick too, because this is weird. By the way, guys, we have company, so before I show you this, come on in, everybody. We ended up having some technical difficulties, and we started a little late, so we're running later than anticipated. But come and show yourselves off.
And I took the kids out so that we wouldn't be...
I know.
It's
okay.
Ass.
It's fine.
Don't stand off camera and say that. Come on over.
Okay, can I take my stuff off, guys?
Come on.
You guys are about to meet some awesome people. Just saying. Of varying sizes and shapes.
Where's my phone,
Come
Daddy?
here. Come here.
Go over to Dad.
Come here, kids. Come on.
Got it.
Rah.
Alright.
Chitlin number 1. Or, well, number
say
3,
hi?
technically, I
Hi.
guess.
This is Olivia. She is my youngest daughter.
She's not mine, I swear.
The other two are refusing.
The other two are the what?
Refusing.
Refusing.
You got that, Melanie?
No.
We might have some technical difficulties resulting in a slight
Where's
murder
my phone,
case,
Daddy?
or suicide maybe
Your
in this
phone?
case. Accidental death?
My phone.
Accidental death.
It's in my room. Plugged in.
Melanie!
Here.
Wave to the camera.
Am I on the camera?
You're on the camera, now wave. Hi! That is Aaron's previously mentioned girl.
Yeah.
Maddie,
Where? You want to say hi?
you and Libby, go.
No? Okay, she doesn't want to say hi.
I know the tall one does. Come hither, tall
Sure.
one.
That was Maddie, if you could see her head.
She's running.
She was my middle one. My oldest one totally hid.
Yeah, she was like 9.
She got all army crawling. And
Oh, goodness. Alright, so now that they're here. Oh, there she is. Bye! So, anyway, I wanted to show you guys this article really quick.
Wait,
And
I'm
then
sorry. This is Olivia! Maddie, make Olivia go potty.
Check this out, guys. Live
You know
bee
what? It's a
sting
shit show. We can talk
acupuncture
about potty.
triggers lethal allergic reaction. So basically, as you scroll through this, and I'm not going to sit here and read the whole thing, but the basis of it is, this 55-year-old woman had an allergic reaction to a bee sting. Now, if I had to guess, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong here, someone usually knows if they're allergic to bees, right? Especially when they're 55 years old.
they usually get stung at least once by the
mean-
time they're 55.
If you haven't been stung by a bee once in your lifetime and you're 55 years old,
Actually, fun fact,
what?
most anaphylactic shock has to, you have to be exposed to that thing you're allergic to twice before you
Have
react
a major
to it.
reaction?
Yeah.
That's so she could have been stung up to twice.
Like, I'm allergic to bees, and the first time I was stung, it just hurt, like a normal bee sting, but the second time, my whole arm was, like, twice the size.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, interestingly enough, she may not have known. Again, though, like, I've been stung. Another funny story for you. When I was, like, 5 years old, I had this clubhouse above my shed. And at one point, it used to be my favorite place to hang out. But it eventually was infested with, like, bees and wasps.
Mhm.
And I had a couple, like, a year or two later, I had a friend of mine over. His name was Taylor. He was, like, 8 at the time. Here I am, 5. He's 8, you know.
Mhm.
And he starts climbing up the ladder to my clubhouse, and I'm like, Taylor, you can't go up there, it's infested with bees. And he's like, well, I want to go see. And me, being the person that I am, you know, protector, fucking at 5 years old, climb up this ladder right behind him, do. Like, you can't go up there, buddy, get down, man, you're gonna die. So we get up there, and I know this is not how it happened, but my imagination takes over severely. I remember it as we get to the top, and there's just a wall of bees and wasps literally staring at us. And it's like this movie scene delay of like, oh shit. And then he immediately just jumps down. Okay. And I don't, you know, I'm a kid, so like my perception of height is a lot different than what it is now that I'm an adult.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to guess, it was probably like 15 to 20 feet up. Not enough to hurt if you jump, but me being 5 years old, I was terrified.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that
Yeah.
20 feet looks like 70.
Mm-hmm.
So I turn around and I'm looking at him on the ground and I'm like, I can't. And I just got stung everywhere. Fucking everywhere. I mean, all up and down my arms, my legs, chest, back, everywhere. Even my face, a couple spots. I started screaming and crying. My mom comes out. She climbs up the ladder. She grabs me and takes me inside and just starts lathering ointment up on me. But I guess my point that I was getting to with that, other than funny story, was that it's so unlikely that she had only been stung 1 or 2 times in her lifetime prior to this point. Like, I find it to be so unbelievable that she went into this bee sting acupuncture not aware that she was allergic to bees.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's almost like suicide by lawsuit.
My question is, why the hell would you do that
In the first place?
like,
Right?
being stung by bees is not fun. It would not relax me in any way. I don't care what kind of pressure points they're hitting. I don't care. It would not relax me the least bit.
I mean, if you want...
When I hear a bee, I freak out. I mean, I had kind of a similar story. I was mowing my aunt's lawn and I hit an underground beehive. And all these bees just flung up everywhere. And I mean, they were everywhere. They went in my shoes, down my socks, in my underwear, down my my shirt, freaking everywhere. It was up in my hat. I was running into the house and I had to like take all my clothes off and my dad's spraying me down. My mom, she's telling me to jump in the bathtub.
Oh my God.
Everybody was freaking out. Luckily, I didn't die.
Luckily,
my dad once, when he was a kid, probably about Maddie's age, maybe like 6, he asked his dad why some bees were like going under this trash can lid, and his dad was like, I don't know, lift it up and find out. And there was like a piece of lemon or something under there, but they all just like swarmed him, and it was the same thing. He had to his mom was like pulling his clothes off, and his dad was spraying him with the hose, and she's getting him into the bathtub.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
That's some scary stuff, man.
Bees are freaking vicious, man.
Yep. And then I had to work at I was working at a trailer park. I was doing grounds maintenance, and that was insane. I had to take care of all the bee nests and stuff like that up in trees. And all that stuff. Then the one thing they told us is wait until nighttime. Wait until night or very, very, very early morning, and the bees will be asleep.
Yeah, actually, with the temperature drops at night, it kind of puts them into a hibernation point. So even if you wake them up, that they have to come out of their slumber.
Apparently it was too warm of a night, and I'm up on this 20-foot ladder with a fucking can of bee spray. And I'm spraying inside this nest, and all these, just out of nowhere, man, these freaking bees just started coming at me. So I did one of those 007 moves and slid down the ladder.
Nice.
Took off running. I didn't even know how I did it. I'm not that nimble.
Instinct. Fuck this, I'm out.
I just ran, man. I didn't care.
Oh, man.
That person called a couple hours later, my bee nest is still there. Well, you're damn right it's still there. I ain't going to touch it.
I was told to wait till night. I waited till night, and I still almost died. Oh, God. Yeah, no. I could never do bee sting acupuncture. That's Dave and Chuck the Freak were actually telling a story about bee sting porn.
Oh, yeah.
You heard that?
Yes, I did.
Oh, my God.
And my dumbass Googled it.
Yeah, same.
Oh.
YouTube did even... Well, not YouTube, but...
That was so rough.
It was...
I watched probably 10 seconds of it. I was just why?
But there's so many different versions of it, too. There's insertion, or there's just topical.
Nah. This one was there was 2 of them. Within that 10 minutes I saw, 2 of them was partially inserted. It was make sure the kids are in the room.
They're all in the room. We're good.
One was in... Oh, there's one.
Damn. All right.
Well, it was bad. Let's put it that way. It was bad.
Let's just say.
It was more like...
That's so bad.
And the other one was
Oh, God. I saw something similar where they tweeze a bee and just sting.
Yes, what the hell?
Why? That's not enjoyable at all. It's some super...
Shout out to all the gross pervs.
Yeah. I know we're cringing now, but we weren't when we watched.
Yeah.
No, but... Oh, at any rate.
It was definitely shock and awe. They mentioned it, and I was like, I wonder what this is. Oh, no.
No, I don't.
Escape.
That's pretty much what my reaction was. While we're on that subject, I mean, you've seen the 2 Girls, 1 Cup video, right?
Oh, God. Who hasn't?
Right. It's classic. For whatever reason. the first time that I showed my friend this, it was a kid that I'd grown up with, known him for like 15, 16, 17 years, something like that. Met in kindergarten. When we were younger, like 13, 14 is when this became a really big thing, and we're like, curious 14-year-olds like, oh, let's watch it. So I watched it before he had the chance, and then he came over and he spent the night at my place one night, and I was like, bro, you've got to see this. And so I pull up the video, and I show it to him, and this was his reaction the first time. Okay, he's like, I don't get what's so wrong. And I'm like, what?
You see what they're doing, right?
I'm like, so let me just clarify for you. And I'm not going to go into detail right now due to the current audience, but I explained in detail what exactly was happening, and he's like, okay, wait, let me watch this again.
You seen the mason jar video?
God, don't even start.
Yeah, the mason jar video was pretty bad too.
So he watched it a second time and just freaked out. He's like, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh, I get it now. Oh! Like, I thought they switched it out with pudding or something. Ah! No, it was hilarious. Don't watch the mason jar video.
Yeah,
oh!
Yeah, that's a rough one.
Just like Two Kids, One Sandbox. Don't watch that either. If you're a dude. If you're a chick, whatever. If you're a dude, you're going to cringe and you're going to cut stuff off that belongs on you. So just trust me.
Is that the person that saw it? That took a minute?
That was not the same.
Oh.
No.
I thought you were telling that story.
No. Person that I was referring to, he and I are no longer on talking terms. But, no. This is, not that person. I have a feeling they're referring to the mason jar video. Don't bring that up.
Oh, the mason jar one?
I'm guessing.
Oh.
They've probably seen it.
Who hasn't?
Right. All the connoisseurs of everything fucked. Oh, so at any rate, guys, we have gone past our 30 to 45 minute window that we had initially set, in part due to some technical complications, also in part due to a minorly late start, which I take full blame for. I was not prepared. But with that, we're going to start saying our farewells. We're going to try to, I think we're going to try and do this at least once a week, right?
Yeah, at least once a week.
It's going to be the goal. It probably won't happen every single week. We both have busy working schedules, so we're going to have to try to find time, and may not always be on the same day, but we'll keep you guys up to date on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. We have it all. We even have Skype. Speaking of which, next show, during the things that we discuss, we will have some more news articles that we wanted to go over with you, some that were just very cringe-worthy, some that we found hilariously comical. We're also going to be talking about some surprise feature things that we won't want to necessarily give away right now, but you're in for a treat. We'll also be taking some Skype callers if all goes well. Obviously, this requires an audience, so anybody watching now, be sure to tell your friends if they want a chance to get on YouTube without having to do any work whatsoever. This is that opportunity. So, with that, we're going to bid farewell.
Alright, you guys take it easy. Don't be so sleazy, unless you want to be.
Hey, to each their own, man.
Yeah.
I mean, after your story, to each their own.
Touche.
No, it was
Aaron,
touche.
Tweety story?
Tushy. No. Anyway, guys, have a good one. Thanks for watching. And until next time, keep your cheeks clenched.